Everyone, this is a video regarding the recent eclipses, particularly around the August 11th eclipse, but it will also cover some information about the July 12th solar eclipse and the July 27th lunar eclipse for people with an Aquarius Ascendant. Hi, my name is Abhi Katyal, I should say that. Thanks for watching this. People with an Aquarius Ascendant, and I mean an Aquarius Ascendant from a Western tropical perspective. So if you think you're an Aquarius Ascendant, for example, from a Vedic or a Jyotish perspective, you may or may not be an Aquarius Ascendant from a Western perspective. So I do need to make that qualification. That means nothing to you, and things like Vedic or Jyotish mean nothing to you because you don't follow that system then, and you know that you're Aquarius rising or Aquarius Ascendant, then this is likely for you. I'm actually really happy and excited to be doing this video because the eclipses, I don't know if you're aware, the other thing I want to mention is this is not a comprehensive review of transits in your chart. This is about the eclipses. And I'm excited to do this because, I don't know if you're aware, but eclipses since December 2016 have been falling on the Leo and Aquarius axis. So eclipses fall in opposite houses, opposite signs. Eclipses that we're meant to lean into and go in a certain direction have happened in the sign of Leo, and eclipses that have something to do with releasing something or letting something go have happened in the sign of Aquarius. Now, on January the 12th of this year was the first of the eclipses that happened in Cancer. So the eclipses are moving from Leo and Aquarius to Cancer and Capricorn. Eclipses move backwards on the zodiac. What is fascinating to me about the Aquarius Ascendant chart is one could argue on a certain level, you know, it would make sense that the eclipses are important for Aquarius Ascendant folks because certainly the eclipses of release are happening for people who have an Aquarius Ascendant. So the eclipses since December of 2016 would be really quite meaningful for you. And they're really happening for people with an Aquarius Ascendant in the area of the chart that have to do with you and partnerships or marriage or relationships. But there are other things that are going on in Aquarius Ascendant charts that one could argue are almost more compelling, not least as far as career is concerned and work is concerned. So by all means, I'm not going to go into a whole lot there on those topics here, but looking at the Aquarius Ascendant is just like, where do you look? There's so many important things that are going on at the same time. That's why when I said I'm excited to do this, I'm excited to do this because Aquarius Ascendant charts, especially since October of last year, are very happening places. And indeed, as far as the eclipses are concerned, have been happening places since December of 2016. Now, let's dive into the eclipses. The eclipses for you happening in Leo and Aquarius have to do with, the Aquarius Ascendant eclipses have to do with you. There's something about you that you have to release. There's a mystery here that you're going to have to solve. And the Leo Ascendant eclipses have to do with your one-on-one partnerships, committed relationships. These can be professional or personal. Certainly marriage falls into this. Any relationships where money is held together, professional relationships come into this as well, business partnerships, personal partnerships. And the most storybook way in which this would roll out would have something to do with either marriage or divorce. And very often when I see eclipses having gone through the 8th house and into the 7th house, and what that means for you is the eclipses in 2015 and the first part of 2016 and even some of 2014 went through the sign of Virgo, which is the 8th house. The 8th house is actually shared resources and shared money and intimacy issues. And then after that, starting December of 2016, I would argue, went into the part of the chart that actually has to do with the partner. They're related. So the seventh house has to do with the other person, the partner, marriage partner, people with whom we are sort of somehow intensely tied. It's an open question as to whether romantic partners sit in this part of the chart or not. Certainly by the time we get to a place where we are actually tied to people financially, in some way, shape, or form, professionally or personally, they come into this part of the chart. So that's the seventh house, stay with me here, where the sign of Leo falls for you. And the eighth house is resources and monies held with the partner. So the most cookie cutter way, not cookie cutter way, the way I see eclipses that go through the eighth house, late 2014, 2015, a lot of 2016, and then go into the house of the partner, one possible scenario can be divorce and separation. Because when the eclipses of 2014, 15, and 16 were happening, there's a contemplation of what do I hold with this person? Do I want to be with this person or not? And again, the word intimacy is really key and critical, because whether you are, marriage is not out of the question as well, by the way. Truly. It just so happens maybe the reason why I go to divorce and separation is that when people are going through divorce and separation, they seek out folks like me to look at their charts and figure out what's going on. So, sorry, my cat Isabella just came right and walked right next to me. I think she thinks I'm talking to her. 2014 to late 2014, 2015, a great deal of 2016, contemplation of intimacy issues, if we're really looking at emotional and psychological connections with the partner, and then the consequences of shared resources. And as I've said, the one thing that you can certainly say is that committed contractual business and personal relationships. So there's no question that marriage falls into this part of the chart. There's no question that certain types of employment relationships, clients, sometimes even the boss, sometimes, some people would argue that's a different part of the chart. Agents, managers, editors, they all, anyone with whom we've shaken hands and said, I'm in a committed relationship with you, or even if you're not married to someone but you decide to start living together, the moment a relationship changes so that money is shared and money issues start to become a part of the relationship dynamic, the nature of the relationship changes and the nature of the intimacy changes. You're dealing with a whole new set of baggage and a whole new set of patterns and a whole new set of behaviors around spending habits and self-worth and value and all those kinds of things that become factors when you agree that you're going to be sharing rent and other things with somebody else. So this is all a very long-winded way of saying that the eclipses in the sign of Leo have to do with contractual relationships and the partner. And there's a need for some reason to lean into trying to understand what would make you a better partner. In the case of people who are clear that they need to separate or divorce from their spouses, or separate or divorce from professional relationships, the question becomes, what do you need to do to clear the space to manifest the right type of partner? Okay, but there's a need to lean into and pay attention to in late 2014, 2015, and much of 2016. The need was to really contemplate what intimacy means to you and what are the financial consequences of that thought process, whether you're coming together with someone or whether questions are being raised or whether you're separating from someone. For people who are pursuing the path of divorce and separation, there could have been a lot of preoccupation with, well, what is this going to mean financially? And then once the eclipses starting December 2016 started and the eclipses moved actually into the house of the person, the partner, then some of those then it really translates into the interpersonal relationships and dynamics. It's now between you and that other person. So all that planning and contemplation of divorce energy now actually heads towards moving towards enacting the separation. And what comes up around this time and what has been operating since December of 2016 clearly has something to do with intimacy, but has a lot to do with who you are and how you show up in partnership. What choices have you made? Are you coming together with someone? Are you separating from someone? What have you learned about yourself? If you're separating from someone, surely there's an understanding that in a certain sense the slate has to be wiped clean so that you can create the space for the new right partner. The sign of Leo, as I said, occupies this 7th house of the other person. The eclipses in the sign of Leo, leaning into what does it mean to be a better partner or attract or manifest the right kind of partner and what your partnership issues are. Billions of Aquarius Ascendant people manifest for each person in different contexts. It doesn't have to be either or, by the way. It doesn't just have to be personal or professional. It could be personal and professional. And keep in mind, again, these things form a narrative since October the 10th of 2017 till November the 8th of this year. No matter where your midheaven falls, and that will make sense to astrology aficionados, the career matters are also important. So if we're looking at, if there's some sort of narrative, if we're looking at professional partnerships, really try and see what sort of new beginnings and endings are happening from a career or job perspective as well. This is going to be a long video at the rate at which we're going. I still feel like I have so much to say. But as I said, these eclipses are really important. You know, I'm a Leo ascendant, and so the eclipses are falling in the opposite way for me, but there's almost less to say for the Leo ascendants than there's for the Aquarius ascendants, because the Aquarius ascendants are also having this, not only are there relationship things that have to be worked out, but then there are profound things, you know, once in 12-year kind of things that are potentially happening from a career perspective as well. So there are all these narratives that are blending together. And there's no question, when eclipses happen in the 8th house going to the 7th house, it's not an easy time unless you're contemplating marriage. So for those Aquarius ascendants who are coming together with people, good for you. Congratulations. The timing of the Leo eclipses that have to do with this energy of partnership. Who's the right partner? Do I have the right partner? Who am I tied to financially? What is my relationship towards intimacy? Energies that have been worked since late 2014. Although, as I said, since December 2016, the focus shifts onto the person as opposed to the contemplation of one's own intimacy issues and the contemplation or meditation on joint finances and joint resources and planning around that. So if you're getting married, during that time you could be thinking, okay, if we get married, so what is this going to look like? And then it's like, all right, now that we've thought about what this is going to look like, where are we going to live? Are we going to sell this? Are we going to rent another place? Are we going to have a joint bank account? Are we going to keep things? Once all that contemplation is done, then you can actually head towards the marriage. So that's the distinction between the energy prior to December 2016 and after 2016. Shared resources, the person. I'm trying to give different scenarios because there's so many of us, so many of you, Aquarius Ascendants, so I'm trying to cover as much as I can here. And you've got to figure out, based on your own personal situation or circumstance, what this might mean to you. As you know, I'm not reading your chart personally, so just take this in. The dates when the Leo Ascendant activities were active were, this is happening at the 14-minute mark, so if you need to rewind and write these dates down, you can come back to it at the 14-minute mark. December the 9th of 2016 to February the 9th of 2017. July the 21st of 2018. Certainly August the 21st of 2018. I'm not exact on those days, give or take a couple of days. To October the 21st of 2018. And then the end of November, November the 30th of 2018 to January the 31st of 2009. What am I saying? Let me start with these dates again. Sorry, Mercury is still retrograde and my brain is a scramble, clearly, when it comes to these things. Let's start with the dates again. 15-minute mark. December the 9th, 2016 to February the 9th, 2017. July the 21st or August the 21st of 2017 to October the 21st of 2017. Thank you. Yep. November the 30th of 2017 to January the 31st of 2018. Got it. And after August the 11th of 2018, the first window is August the 11th of 2018 to October the 11th of 2018. And then everything is heading towards the lunar eclipse, the last eclipse in Leo, on January the 21st of 2019. So we would look to November the 21st of 2019 to 2018 to January the 21st of 2019. So this time period, we have a solar eclipse. Sorry, the video starts to, it's almost as if servers switch or something happens when I notice this degradation in quality. I need to figure out what's going on here. This final leg of eclipses, August 11th of 2018, is a roughly 6-month period that culminates in January the 21st, 2019. All about partnerships, personal and professional. Now, this video is primarily about the August 11th eclipse. I'm going to say a couple of things. The energy, and this is the last, as I've said to you, this is the last of the eclipses and eclipse cycles that has to do with the Leo-Aquarius axis. On July the 12th, as I said, we had the first eclipse in Cancer on the Cancer-Capricorn axis, and very soon, if not already, some of your focus is going to go into your work, your diet, your health, your self-care, your routines. So a lot of this contemplation in terms of relationships and the right kind of partnerships is going to be around for another 6 months, but don't be surprised if you start to get really quite busy and occupied in different areas. If the contemplation of partnerships is happening in the professional sphere, there may be a natural handoff into becoming really busy and implementing and executing on work and lifestyle that has to do with these new professional partnerships. If it's personal, know and understand that there is this handoff where over the next 6 odd months, you may be tying up decisions related to personal partnerships, whether you're separating with people or coming together with people, and then things are going to start to get pretty busy in terms of your own day-to-day life. Will some of you be called on to be working more? Will you have more work projects? Will the nature of your work change? Will some of you deal with health issues perhaps? Or will you be motivated to change your health and diet and routine in some ways? Pets, people who have service to you, it's going into a different part of your chart. I wanted to mention that. And that energy of work, etc., can almost be showing up now. In fact, because we had the July eclipse on July the 12th, by September the 12th, and the September 11th date is an important date anyway because it marks for me a clearing and a moving forward of energies when all of this starts to make more sense. By September the 12th, this kind of work-related stuff is going to become clearer in terms of where it is that you're meant to go, I think. And then by October the 11th, some of, as I've mentioned that day before, some of these, the last of these relationship issues will become clear as well. The relationship issues especially will continue to start up one more time for the final time, November the 21st to January the 21st. November 21st, 2017, 2018 to January the 21st, 2019. God help me. Mercury, go direct already. One final thing I'm going to say to you. In the middle of all these eclipses, we also had the last Aquarius eclipse, and you are an Aquarius Ascendant. And that happened on July the 27th. Now, energies related to the July 27th eclipse are still going to be playing out in the months of September and October. And the September 11th date into October may give you tremendous momentum to wrap some of the Aquarius-related things up. If the need is to lean into partnership, The need to release is to release something that has to do with you, because there's you and the partner. And this is really mysterious. Typically, when the north node and the south node of the moon, calculated points that are eclipse points, I'm being very succinct there and a little general, in someone's birth chart fall in the way that they're following for you right now, since December of 2016 to January the 21st of 2019, got that right, we would say that a person has to really look at their boundaries when it comes to their relationships and start to experiment with dissolving them. In someone's birth chart, if the nodes of the moon are where the eclipses are happening for you now, we would say to someone that they are here to learn how to be better partners, and they may have a very pronounced sense of self, very pronounced sense of boundaries. The inner warrior may be really strong with them. And in order to learn how to be a better partner, they need to start to dissolve and deal with these kinds of things. An egocentricity, a propensity towards drama. When I view the eclipses for Aquarius clients, it's actually playing out in different ways, understandably, because you don't have the nodes here necessarily. I don't have your charts in front of me. But your personalities could be different. Your life paths could be different. And so it's very likely and very possible that you guys are dealing with partnerships, issues in all the different guises that I mentioned before, divorces, coming together, professional, personal, etc. So it may not be that what you have to release is a strong sense of boundary, a strong sense of egocentricity, a strong sense of me, which we would see if you had these eclipse points in your birth chart. But the question then becomes, what about you needs to be released? Are there, typically when we look at the first house, we can sometimes look at health-related issues, to be sure, especially structural issues, bones, skin. I see those kinds of issues more when there's a Saturn transit in the first house, and that's not going to happen for you for another 2.5 years. So, but health certainly, and well-being in your body and your appearance can be part of this. There's a certain maturing that's associated with the first house and transits of the first house. When I see eclipses of release needing to happen, and I'm sorry I'm spending so much time on the July 27th eclipse here as well, but they go hand in hand. The Aquarius eclipses and the Leo eclipses go hand in hand. As you're being asked to lean into partnership, the question is, what about you needs to be released? Sometimes it is self-esteem issues related to a person. Sometimes something physical needs to be released, and that's very hard when it comes to you. It's not like you're releasing yourself. But that's an interesting phrase. What does that mean? If you're contemplating how to be a better partner and to lean into partnership, because that is where your gains and your learning will come from, your evolution will come from, what about you? What does you releasing yourself mean to you, personally and professionally? Typically, when it comes to eclipses of release, I find that there's something that people are holding on to, that they have become dependent on, that is a source of strength for them, that the universe has decreed and decided they no longer need. It is often, actually, an attachment to something, a crutch. Is it something related to your sense of self or identity? Who are you? These eclipses of release were active June the 7th of 2017 to August the 7th of 2018. And from February the 15th of 2018, I swear to God, these dates, Mercury it goes direct on Sunday. I'm really screwing up on the years. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's the first time I've happened. I've done a ton of these Ascendant videos. And this is a lengthy one. I can't believe this is going on for 25 minutes. But as I said, the Aquarius Ascendant videos are significant. You must be going through a certain amount of turmoil and change right now. Based on what I know, based on the transits in your charts, Aquarius Ascendants. So let's go through the release dates again. June the 7th of 2017 to August the 7th of 2017. and then February the 15th of 2018 this year to July the 27th of 2018, with the energies continuing to seek resolution, especially through October of this year, and especially after September 11th of this year, into October. So the great mysterious question for you, as the eclipses start to move you a little bit towards your work, your professional commitments, your busyness, your routine, your self-care, how you're going to structure your lives based on work-related things that may be coming your way and changes that you're making. There are even larger career and calling-related questions that are at work, and new beginnings and endings that are at work since October of last year to November of this year. For some people, that can be a longer transit. But there is an opportunity now after August 11th to really contemplate and see what is coming up for you in terms of your marriage and your partnerships and your committed business and personal relationships. Are you in a place where you need to restart, rethink, recommit, end, clean the slate so that you can start afresh, finish things? What does it mean to lean into partnership, to learn the lessons and see things through and get them done? And what about you do you need to release? If you're ending a relationship, did you not take certain things about yourself seriously? Was it a self-esteem issue? If it was a personal relationship, you were putting up with the situation for longer than you perhaps should have, and therefore that reflects that somewhere you did not value yourself through that process. Are you attached to something or attached to an idea of yourself that needs to be released? These are questions that you have an opportunity to contemplate between now and January the 21st of 2019. And so my very happening Aquarius Ascendant clients, who especially right now with Mercury slowing down and going direct on Sunday, August the 18th or 19th, depending on where you are, and then Mars going direct in Capricorn and re-entering Aquarius, your sign. Mars goes direct on August the 27th, enters Capricorn on September the 11th. That is why I'm looking at that September the 11th date so closely. It may be that this week and next week are, maybe this week and the next 2 weeks are, hopefully for you guys, the last weeks where you feel like you're somehow being reined in and held back. And then after that, as I said, especially after September 11th, don't expect anything big to happen on that date, September 11th, just as you head towards it and head past it, September and October. Give you a certain amount of forward movement to start to move forward. And remember that when it comes to partnerships, there's that one last lunar eclipse that's going to happen on January the 21st of 2019. None of my videos have been this long, Ascendant-specific videos. And I am delighted to be done with this, and I'm sure you are too. Happy contemplating, and I will be back in touch soon. Thanks. One more thing. When I'm done processing this video, which God knows how long that's going to take because it's so lengthy, I will put my contact information, sorry, this is marketing gobbledygook, but important, in the subject area, in the description area. So if you want to get in touch with me with questions, feel free, by the way, to subscribe to my channel, like the video if you liked it, comment. But if you want to get in touch with me for a reading or want me to take a look at your chart, my email address is going to be in the description area of this video. All right, ciao.